Well, g'day everyone and welcome back to the channel, and today it's a garden update, so it's going to be my first official SHEDWARS entry. So I had my team captain one, and this one's actually an entry one. We're going to go through, we're going to do a bit of a garden update, going to give a tip, and also at the end of it we'll do a little bit of a weigh-in. As it's still very early in the season, not much to weigh, but hey, let's give it a crack, because luckily I am harvesting already out of the garden. All right, off we go with the tour. Okay, as per normal, we'll start off with our long bed. Little jalapenos, which are our first ones. They're going okay. We've still got these couch grass coming up, and this is my tip for today. Whenever you're digging the couch grass up, make sure you go right down. It's a nodular sort of grass. As you can see, it's got nodules all the way along it. You want to go back as far as you can. You want to get into the plant, dig in underneath, try and break out that old stuff at the same time as getting the new stuff. So the more you get out in one hit, the more it's got to grow back before it comes back against you. So again, with our little jalapenos coming up there, and these ones here that the birds keep burying. So our jalapenos are coming along. Our Performe de Abruzzi, we have this one here, or this pair here, is starting to put some growth on, which is awesome. That one there we lost to the birds. That seems to be my issue this year. Lots of pests in the garden, whether they're birds, slugs, or whatever. Alright, coming along, our zucchinis. We've actually started getting the male flowers already. That one was a double. Another male flower there. As of yet to get any female flowers. So as per normal with the cuprate, it's just a matter of waiting till they get a bit more mature, and then they'll put the females out. This one also had a flower, so it's coming along. That thing there is pretty much cactus. You can see where the slugs destroyed the stalk on it. I have put a couple of seeds in the ground, so hopefully they'll come up and we'll see what happens there. Alright, on to our non-Italian pear tomatoes. This little weird fella is still kicking along there, which is great. And the other two in there are starting to put on a bit of growth, which is awesome. Okay, our golden nugget pumpkins. These ones are the ones giving me the most stress out of the pumpkins. As you can see, our good one has started putting male flowers out. Still waiting for the females on that. But the others are still very yellow, being attacked by slugs and mites and that sort of thing. So I've planted some more seed in beside, and we'll give them a crack and see how they go. Alright, next up we have our Amish paste tomatoes. As you can see, they're all starting to put on a fair bit of height. They're coming along great. Don't think I've seen any flowers on them yet. Oh, there's some flowers just in there, if you can just make them out. But yet they're close to flowering, so they're doing great. Okay, next up we have our grandma pumpkin. As you can see, they're all sort of kicking along. They're doing pretty well. You know, didn't reseed them. I don't think I need to. That one might keel over, but the rest of them are doing pretty good. Alright, our little cucamelons. We're twining on that one. That one's not quite far enough to twine. That one's not quite far enough to twine. This one's starting to climb. So that's awesome. A little marigold there and sunflower. Alright, our spinach bed, I took another pick off it this week. As you can see, it's ready again for another pick. It's not too far from going to seed. You can see just here, it's a seed head starting to form. So we won't get too much more out of that before it goes to seed. So I'll get a couple more picks and then we're going to be at seed. And the weather's just been atrocious. We have had winds of 65 mile an hour this week, which is 100 kilometers an hour. Yeah, it has just been absolutely shocking weather. Today we're at 20 degrees, which is about 70 in Fahrenheit. Tomorrow's supposed to be 25, which is 80 Fahrenheit, and then on Thursday it is supposed to be 30 degrees, which is 90 in Fahrenheit. So, and the weather's just not doing me any favors. Alright, on our Cherokee wax, we have beans. We've got lots of flowers, we've got beans appearing. This fella here. So Cherokee wax is doing good. It's copped a bit of a flogging from the wind, but it's coming along. We should be picking beans out of that maybe next week. Our potatoes, again, been blown around by the wind. A few stalks bent over, but they should come good. Give them a bit of water. Alright, a Violet Queen. Again, lots of flowers. Doing absolutely awesome. And my biggest bean so far is sitting right here in it. That's about 3 inches long. Nice little violet bean. So yeah, that is doing great. Lots of beans, lots of flowers. It's coming along awesome. Alright, as you can see, the pak choi is pretty much played out. It gets really dry in these beds, so he's pretty much played out. But as far as the bean front, you know, we have beans all over the place on the Lazy Housewife. It is going great guns. Up the top we are covered in flowers. We have beans. Over this side we have a few nice big beans on there, so that should be picked hopefully on the weekend. I'll be able to start picking. But yeah, and the pak choi, it's gone to seed. It's pretty much cactus, but hopefully we'll get a few seeds off it and then we can do a replant. Over at our large raised bed, our pimply squash has just gone monstrous. Now this one here did cop a bit of bend damage out of that wind, so I'm not sure how it's going to go on this end, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, it's all sort of started lapping over the sides and starting to get serious. And as you can see, just here, we actually have a female fruit on it. So that one's going great. Alright, San Mazzanos in this bed. This is the one that we had our first flowers on last week, and you could barely see them. We actually have one right there that is flowering today. And there's a couple other flowers in there with it. So I'm gonna have to clear it up a bit and they're almost ready to start staking. And again, the little fella on the other side, coming along, doing great. All right, our capsicum slash bell pepper, they're doing great. As you can see, getting a bit covered in by the tomatoes, so we'll just, and also by this pumpkin in front of it. So we'll just take some of the leaves that are covering it off and move them out of the way. And the one over this side has totally disappeared in amongst the greenery. This is the hard part about tight space gardening. You've got to keep everything trimmed. And take off non-essential stuff. And so that you can make sure everything's getting the sunlight it needs. So there we go. A little bit of pruning, and that one's back to getting sunlight, and it's going to be happy. And it should be jumping up soon. All right, out the front, baby blues. Well, you just saw the leaves that I picked off it. It's getting huge. We've got male flowers, one that's already blossomed, one that's about to blossom tomorrow morning. A female. Let me get some sunlight on it. Just there, we have a female that's coming up, so we'll be able to fertilize that soon and start growing on the pumpkin front, which is great. But again, because I'm so tight, I've got to make sure that I'm keeping things pruned back a little, just so everything's getting the light it deserves. All right, on we go. Our smaller raised bed, that's our Marzanos, coming up great. Again, we've got some flowers starting to form up. A little one, there's still a little one. Our little capsicum slash bell pepper, it's coming up there. And again, it could probably do with a bit of clearing around it. So I'll just nip a couple of leaves off. And just sort of make sure that's nice and clear. All right, our weeby littles. As you can see, they're really sort of, yeah, maybe you can't see. Right, they're a really complex little plant in there. They act like they're a vining plant, but they're not really vining too much. Never grown these ones before, so see what happens with it. I was hoping that they were going to lap over the sides as a vining plant, but obviously they don't do that. And we'll just see what happens. So those two ones at the front doing great. This sucker at the back, the wind actually snapped it off. Now I've covered it up to see if I can get it to keep growing, but I'm doubting it very much. As you can see, it's completely detached. So I reckon we might be putting another couple of seeds in there and see what happens. Our sunflowers out here doing great. Yeah, they are starting to reach up for the sky. I've saved our little kale bed for the last here today because this is what I'm picking for dinner tonight. Got Dana's little knife out. One of these days I'm going to have to send it to her. Alright, so just going through. I'll just harvest off the larger leaves. one little cabbage moth larvae. So we'll get rid of him. Okay, not a bad little harvest of greens. So that will be dinner tonight. I'll grab some potatoes and some bacon and make some of my hash up for tonight for dinner, which will be delicious. Okay, by harvesting that, I've opened up the bed. Sunlight gets in a bit better. You can see the weeds in here a bit better. It gives our little paprika pepper there and there a bit more light. You can see these sunflowers are just looking absolutely gorgeous. They're probably 5 inches tall, or that one is. That one over there is probably 4 inches, so looking great. And obviously I need to do some weeding in there, and we will see how long our kale lasts, and that might well become another pepper bed. Alright, let's go have a look inside and we'll weigh in this kale. Alright folks, here we are inside, looking at the stuff inside. As you can see, our cucumbers are very close to heading outside. They'll probably head out during the week and start their lives outside, and hopefully the slugs won't get them. Our tomatoes still suffering a bit from the sun exposure last week, but hopefully in another week they'll be ready to head out. And our little cucamelons, most of them are doing okay, so maybe this week, maybe next week they'll head out. Alright, capsicums, bell peppers, they're coming along. They'll be ready for whenever we've got the beds cleared, and they can go straight out into those beds. Alright, last part, let's do it and weigh in. Okay, 311 grams. Yeah, it's not a big one, but hey, it's a start. Which pounds and ounces, we've got 11 ounces. Alright, as I said, it's not big, but at the moment I'm only picking greens, and it's the first weigh in, so there we go. Alright, well, thank you very much everyone for watching. Please hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit that little bell notification so you know when I've got further videos coming out. And again, thank you very much for watching, and bye for now.